Hello and welcome to another casted game of Age of Empires 3DE. This is a game from a best of 3 set from week 3 of the Age of Sunbros 1500 Elo limit 1v1 tournament. Let's get started. In the first game of this set, we have Jelly playing as the Lakota, with their fast explorer sprinting off right away at the beginning of the match there. And we have Dsal 1994 playing as India. And the map for this game is Ivory Coast. Probably the most unique thing about Ivory Coast is this treasure here. An ancient Roman scroll which grants a small trickle of experience. Both players have a copy of that treasure in their base. We can see Dsal is picking it up right now. Lakota have left it there for now, choosing to do other stuff with their explorer. Of course, Lakota with their very, very fast explorer have a great chance to kind of take initiative, so we might just watch what they're doing. I thought they were going for an early trade post down at the bottom there, which would have been quite remarkable, but it looks like Jelly is using that fast explorer just to go and grab some of the free treasures, the no guardian treasures that are in the middle of the map. Is now coming home and probably going to be heading over for that XP treasure now. Yeah, looks like it. Okay, we'll jump back on board with India. India doing a pretty classic India start here. We've got the villagers chopping wood, and we've got a handful of them going on to food. They need the wood, of course, for their villager production. And their first shipment is available, and completely unsurprisingly, it's going to be distributivism, giving the wood trickle. We can see the deck game here is called Sup. Don't know what that means. In Age 2, we've got all of the crates and a handful of unit shipment. We've got the better wood trickle. We've got the 300 exports. Looks like a pretty balanced deck. Could be some Age 2 play coming. Could be some more of an Age 3 focus. Pretty versatile India choices here. Let's have a look at the Lakota deck. This is 1v1 water, so we might be seeing some water play, although there's no eco water cards here really, just the 3 buccaneers in Age 2, so maybe more of a water defense kind of attitude in the deck here. We've also got Age 2 crates. We've got the 4 axe riders, but not the 3 axe riders, so not going all out on those Age 2 unit cards. And we've got a good selection of late game cards sitting here in Age 3. We've got the Earth Bounty, we've got some of the paid for units that come with an upgrade, and of course we've got everyone's favourite 7 Council Fires sitting there in Age 4. You can bet that if we see this game getting all the way to Age 4, Lakota will be throwing that in. India's age up, it looks to me like it's going to be an aggro fort, and certainly the positioning suggests so as well. Just a little bit back from the halfway line of the map. We've got their explorers having a little bit of a fight. It's not going to go very well for this vagabond. That's one of the treasure guardians converted by Lakota. That's going to be dispatched with pretty easily. If we just do a little line of sight check, let's see. Lakota have explored a little bit of the Indian side, but haven't really identified all their hunts or their mines. Just knows where the TC is and where that fort is going to be. I guess that'll be their target for any sort of early fighting. Dsal, on the other hand, has really not explored very much at all. Not gone down to the coast and found out about the treasures and eco are on the bottom half of their side. Never mind pushing out onto the opponent's side. So going to be suffering from a bit less knowledge there. We'll carry on now just as Lakota age up, complete their age up to Age 2. They've got to mark it down. Probably going to be getting hunting dogs if they haven't already. And we've got the 4 axe riders coming in fast. Watching Lakota with their explorer zipping about, it makes me nervous. I've got the game on double speed or something. He's so fast. So the 4 axe riders are going to be coming out, and you can bet that they are going to be popping over to this Indian half of the map and seeing whether they can harass some villagers, maybe even take out some villagers. India, of course, with its mainly wood economy, doesn't need to take too many hunts, especially at this early stage in the game, so can kind of keep the villagers close to home, although it isn't really choosing to, with these 3 up here outside the a little bit away from the town centre. India have a couple of villagers been idle for a little while there as well. They were building this fort before that Lakota Treasure Guardian came over. Have aged up with the fort, so they get the 2 sepoys, and are going to be shipping in 5 sepoys as their first shipment. So going to have a pretty effective answer to these 4 axe riders. Let's see where the axe riders have turned up. Oh, look how fast these Lakota units are. So these axe riders are absolutely zipped across the map, because I think they got shipped to the town centre, and have come here to near the Indian town centre. Let's check how much they can see. The only hunt that they know about are these elephants here, which India only had 2 villages on, so not really a very effective disruption here. The real Indian hunt centre is up here at the top, but I don't think Lakota have explored there. So probably not going to go for that unless they get very lucky here. Let's check whether they spot it. Oh, they could just have seen a couple of villagers there, but it was only a split-second thing, and they don't see the elephant corpse, so I don't think... I think India got away with a lot there. Of course, it doesn't matter that much, because India have managed to put down, is that 7 sepoys, so the 2 shipped for the age up and 5 more shipped from the home city. 7 sepoys is going to be able to push away these axe riders as long as they are close enough to the villagers to get in and do the defending before it's too late. We've got another batch of sepoys being trained out of the fort. Let's see what Lakota are up to. Lakota shipping in 700 coin, so potentially going to be looking at the Fortress Age here, which is interesting. Yeah, that's their 3rd card, so could be looking at an FF here. They've got the 1200 food ready for it. Yeah, sounds like Lakota going up to Fortress. Not something you sort of instantly think of with Lakota. Of course, they can go fast Imperial and clock in that famous 7 Fires card. Maybe that's what we'll end up seeing here. But they don't have the 2 Falcons of European civs. So, you know, it's more of a mixed picture in terms of what they get for the fast fortress. Anyway, meanwhile, Lakota have found these villagers on this elephant here. Were able to go in and take 1 out. The villagers were disrupted, but then, as expected, the sepoy army showed up and pushed them away. Lakota still only have these 4 axe riders, of course, accompanied by their explorer, and very effectively sped up by their explorer. But they absolutely cannot take any sort of fight with the Indian infantry army, which is growing in number. 3 more axe riders, just popped out. So 7 on the field in total. Now I imagine that they'll be grouped together quite soon. But of course, Lakota going only for hand cavalry so far. India going only for musks so far. So in terms of counters, India has a huge advantage. And India really building up the numbers. Is basically just running an Age 2 game here. As it's got the wood trickle in, so it doesn't need to worry about villagers on wood villagers on wood to produce villagers. And so it's just throwing food and gold, and the 5 sepoy shipment, and training sepoys out of the out of the fort. It's pretty much the simplest strategy you could make up for India. But it's going to be causing a real problem for Lakota here. Let's just check as well how much of the Lakota town. So India doesn't really know much about the Lakota town. I mean, not that there are many buildings to speak of. Has marched in towards the town centre, found the market. Going to be using these sepoys to siege down the market. They're going to make short work of that because they have a good siege, and there are 22 of them now. So that is a real threat to the Lakota town centre. What do Lakota have? What have they been up to? They're just finishing their age up to age 3. They're going up with a wise woman, which is going to be an eco thing. I think they're at real risk of losing their town centre here. They've only got the corral. They can only train cavalry. I mean, bow riders won't suck against this sepoy mass, but axe riders absolutely will. Yeah, no, so now the age up is complete. They can start training rifle riders, which is definitely what they want here. The rifle riders getting a bonus against heavy infantry, even though they're really a sort of goon unit. Very, very powerful. Throwing in the axe riders here just, I think, to sort of buy themselves maybe another 10 seconds on that town centre's lifetime. Is messing around with the shipment point. Going to have 5 rifle riders and 5 more trained in about 15 seconds. As long as they keep the town centre, though, because they haven't got another shipment point. They haven't got a war hut down. Here come the pop of the rifle riders. There's 5 more from the back, so 10 rifle riders. But look, they're already going down. 9 left. I can't remember that camel unit's name. Sambuk, I think, taken out by the rifle rider just as easy as the rest of the infantry. And now suddenly, just like that, the game is absolutely changed. Look, that town centre had 1,200 hit points. It was probably about 15 seconds, maybe 10 seconds in it. Maybe those axe riders did make the difference, because if that town centre goes down, you're not shipping in the other 5 rifle riders, and 5 is less than half as good as 10 because of the sort of snowball effect of numbers. And those sepoys would have been able to tank that and would have been able to finish off the game. I've no doubt about that. So this is a really big turnaround on a really tight margin, but suddenly Lakota are way up in charge here. They're using these rifle riders to chase down villagers. I think, being a goon unit, the rifle riders will get a negative multiplier. Yeah, they get half against villagers, so they're not going to be great at that, but there's enough of them that they are causing a problem, and they did take out 1 villager there. Now going to go and skirt around the fort. Again, they're not going to do a great job against the fort, but it doesn't matter because it's all about pressure. And suddenly, now, just like a switch being flipped, it's gone from Dsal putting a heck of a lot of pressure on Jelly right in the town centre to Lakota having all the room to put on pressure. And look, Jelly is sending these units in, sending these axe riders in because they know that the sepoys need to run away. There aren't enough numbers for these sepoys to stand and do any sort of effective damage, even against the axe riders, who they'll do really well against. And it's going to be the same story here with the forts. Lakota units not got particularly special siege, not an enormous number of them, but they're going to be able to sit here by the fort unchallenged because they've got the advantage of numbers. And Dsal really can't, although Dsal has not given up here, because this is quite a nice pop. We had the irregulars coming out of the town centre, and now we've got these tiger claws. The tiger claws, they are shock infantry, so kind of similar to the axe riders. They don't get any sort of multiplier against these rifle riders, but they also really don't take a multiplier from them. 2x against shock infantry, so actually they're not the best thing to be fighting it. But that pop, melee units right on top of the rifle riders, did cause a bit of a problem there. And you see the numbers have just been knocked down to the point now where it's all a little bit more competitive. We've got how many Lakota units have we got there? 4 plus 7. Oh, a few Tulukas coming in. That stings, because Pretty sure these guys have a pretty good siege. That's okay, but they have a lot of HP. And again, let's check in on Dsal and see. Still in Age 2, of course, so can't really rely on great shipments. The 10 Tiger Claws was probably their best Age 2 shipment. It was a paid shipment. Is now sending the 700 gold. If they use that to go up to Fortress, they're really going to be... I think they're really going to struggle to still be in the game by the time they've finished aging up to Fortress. Is putting down a barracks now. They need to replace that fort that they've lost. That's quite a nuisance. And stacked up a lot of resources. Maybe didn't have the houses, or just couldn't get the units out of the fort fast enough. Whatever reason, it'd be really good if that sort of 1,000 food and 1,000 gold was converted into infantry on the field right now that could put up a defense, because this cavalry mass from Lakota is just growing and growing. The Lakota have been able to take advantage of, at this point, 4 just coming up of these 4 of these Age 3 shipments, and that's helped them build their mass really, really quickly. The villager count was probably pretty level, as I'm aware the game has ended. Villager count was probably pretty level between the two players. Probably, I expect we'll see resources gathered pretty similar. But Lakota had a big advantage in terms of their units, their shipped units, because they had gone up to Age 3. It's as simple as that. So yeah, this final cavalry mass comes in and takes out some more villagers, and that prompts the GG from Dsal. I think a very tight first game. You know, look at these Indian monks still lying KO'd by the Lakota town centre. That town centre, it was on 1,200 health. There were 20 or so sepoys sieging it, so how long would that have taken to finish off? I can't imagine more than about 10-15 seconds. If that town centre goes down, as I say, the whole outcome of the game looks very, very different. But it didn't go down. Lakota pulled off the FF. They turned it around beautifully, taking advantage of what their Civ is all about. These fast cavalry units buffed in terms of speed by the Explorer, doing a great job moving around the map, causing problems for the opponent's economy, and the Rifle Riders doing a really good job of clearing up that Indian infantry. Let's just check in on the graphs. The main things I want to highlight are villager count look absolutely neck and neck through that game. Almost nothing in it in terms of the villagers, and I expect the resources gathered will tell a similar story. Yeah, absolutely does. The difference was that by going up to Fortress, Lakota got access to those Rifle Riders, who were a great counter to all of the units that India were showing, and they had those superior shipments, and that's what pushed them over the line. Great game, a lot of fun, and I will see you soon for the second game of this best of 3 set. GG's.